MacVoices is supported by ATTO. For over 30 years, ATTO Technology has been a global leader across the IT and media and entertainment markets, specializing in storage and network connectivity and infrastructure solutions for the most data-intensive computing environments. ATTO works with partners to deliver high-end solutions to better store, manage, and deliver data. Find out more at atto.com. MacVoices is in San Jose for AltConf and WWDC. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I want to introduce you to Brittany Smith, who is a productivity coach and is attending AltConf and all the surrounding events. Brittany, good to see you.
Good to talk to you.
It was nice to meet you in line yesterday for AltConf, and
That's right.
Now we're here talking. What is a productivity coach doing at WW?
So I also do technology coaching and ADHD coaching. Developers are often neurodiverse individuals, including ADHD, ASD, and I like finding my tribe, and I like knowing what's going on with technology so I can help people get their work done better.
I find this really, really interesting that you specifically call out ADHD coaching or training. Why?
Like, why is that?
Why did you pick that a niche like that?
Well, I do have ADHD. And I was studying cognitive neuroscience and sort of looking for what was next in my life after I got my graduate degree. And ADHD coaching is a real need that people have. And so I started that, and sort of like productivity coaching and technology are sort of a sub-niche.
Now, we've talked about ADHD on the show before. We've talked a lot about productivity and the intersection of the two. But I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody identify themselves as specifically an ADHD coach. And so if I come to you and I say, hey, I have ADHD and I need a coach, what does that mean to you, and what do you deliver?
It depends on what you need. Okay. So if somebody says, I can't get to work on time, then that's a thing that we would work on. So we pick, like, what's the thing that somebody wants to have be better? Usually only one or two things at a time, because you don't want to get overloaded. We strategize, like, what's going to work for them, what's worked in the past, what kind of accountability. So if, I need to go to bed by 10 p.m. so I can get up on time, get to work, just for example. Then I'd say, so how did going to bed go? So there's somebody asking, did you actually do it? And sometimes that's really helpful for people.
That's interesting. I mean, because it sounds like the obvious cause and effect thing, but is it just the fact that you're reinforcing it?
Yeah, and that I have experience, like, oh, okay, so are you sure this is going to work? Or if I see something, a lot of people get stumbled here, like, when are you turning off Instagram? Or something like that, like, to make sure that somebody doesn't go down a rabbit hole when they're really tired.
Okay.
Just following that example.
Okay, so now let's flip over to the technology coach. That can mean a lot of things, and I have my interpretation of what it means, but what does it mean to you?
So I mostly work with Apple products. If somebody wants something else, I'm going to be a lot less knowledgeable. That's why I'm here. These are my people. It could be I want help, like, setting up my task management system, and then what apps do you recommend? Because they'll know that, oh, this is the system I'm familiar with. These are the products I know. And so I can tell them that sometimes I've helped people set up email that worked with a task manager, and so that those two things were integrated because that was what they needed the most. All their tasks were coming from email. It could be I have helped people set up shortcuts. Like, I need to email out to delegate people. Somebody who would get insecure writing delegation emails, so then he'd just do all the work himself when he had people at his disposal. And so we automated it so that, like, he didn't have to, like, think through all the steps each time. All he had to write down was, what's the task, pick from a list who to send it to, sent off he's been using that shortcut for a couple months now and really loves it.
So you solve little problems more than big problems, it sounds like.
Yeah, the big problems, a lot of what ends up happening is acceptance. Like, I really want this app that does all these things, and you're the technology person, and you're going to help me find it, and it never exists. And so we find, like, okay, what can we put together that has the least compromises? And then I'll point out things as they go along, like, you're having a hard time finishing these tasks. I notice you have 1 million notifications going off on 3 different devices. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, none of us have that. Come on. Do you have favorite applications or favorite solutions that you pull from, or do you go and research the solutions that you advocate for a particular client?
I always want to hear what works for them first. Like, I had a client hire me partly for the technology coaching. We talked about it, and it turned out that what's most natural for him was pen and paper. So, I mean, so we didn't really need that. So I figured out, like, what's working for you, what's worked for you in the past, what hasn't. Like, just because there's a fancy solution doesn't mean it's right for you.
Okay. I feel like you are one of those people, and everything you're describing fall in that category of, I didn't even know this was a job. I didn't even know this was a thing that I might aspire to, or I might consider making, if maybe not life's work, at least a job that I could do for someone. And I find that really intriguing. How did you, did you just kind of fall into it, or did you have some training or have a mentor or anything like that?
I have some training for ADHD coaching and life coaching.
Okay.
I'm on the path for certification there.
There's certifications for both of those?
Yep.
Really?
Separate.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. So life
who knew?
ADHD coaching is a well-established practice. It's gaining in popularity as people are realizing medications aren't enough, and so it's increasing in popularity. And if you do a search for productivity coach and ADHD coach, and technology coach, it's the short list. I did just say that's what I want to do and decided to do it.
Okay. So I'm fascinated. So with the certifications, I would think that's not something that you would go necessarily to a formal college or university for. It's something you would go for specific training?
Right. So there's the International Coaching Federation for regular life coaching, and they give approval to different training programs. So you could go to a training program that's not going to end up with that certification. It's a whole thing. And then there's certification specifically for ADHD coaching through a different organization that's related, and it's similar. You have to track your hours, that kind of stuff.
It's fascinating. So do you have a website, or how do people contact you if they would like to have you as their life coach or tech coach or ADHD coach or whatever?
Yeah, it's conquer.consulting.
Conquer? Just the word conquer?
The word conquer.consulting, that top-level domain.
Perfect. Brittany, thanks so much. You've opened my eyes to a whole new set of occupations.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Folks, we'll have more. You never know what's going to show up here on MacVoices. We'll have more from San Jose and AltConf. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.